All right, guys, let's check out the Mido OceanStar GMT. So first off, big thanks to John for sending this over. He also sent over a G-Shock, which I ended up buying from him, but the Mido is actually going back to him. But the main thing with this watch, before we even get started this is more of what a lot of us would consider a true GMT, meaning I can cycle the 12-hour hour hand forward and backward, and it will change the date. Much like you see in the big brand like Rolex, you don't typically see this style of function in entry-level watches. Although this is like a $1,200 watch, it's not really entry level, but it's entry luxury for a GMT. So case on this, 44 millimeter, lug to lug, 50 millimeter, thickness, 13.5. Even though it does kind of look and feel a little bit bigger than that, it is only 13.5. 22 millimeter lug width, bracelet tapers down to about 18.5, and you have a nice simple fold over clasp, double pushers, and then you have on the fly. I mean, you could even do this on the wrist. You don't even have to like take it off to adjust it. So you can adjust it to whatever position you need to, and it kind of doubles as a dive extension. Screw down case back with a bunch of world timing information there. Screw down oversized 8 millimeter crown is going to get you a 200 meter water resist. So 3-hand timekeeping, 4-hand timekeeping GMT, and a date window at the 3 o'clock. Pretty decent dial layout. There's not a lot of text on there other than the Mido automatic OceanStar. It doesn't even say GMT anywhere. And then you have that 24-hour track on the chapter there. That's where that large orange GMT hand is going to point, and that is running on a 24-hour scale, obviously. So the movement in this is what they call a caliber 80.661 based on the ETA C07.661, which is like a more current generation variation of an ETA 2824, basically. 80-hour power reserve. It has a bunch of stuff. You can even get this particular movement in a COSC formula. So that's, I mean, the catalog is very deep when it comes into the ETA movements. This happens to be one of them. 120 click bezel, ceramic bezel insert. The entire watch is stainless steel. It does have a little bit of heft to it. I didn't take a weight on it, but it's decent weight. It's not crazy heavy or anything, though. It just looks chunkier, so it's a little deceiving to the eye. Bracelet, you have the brushed, polished relief on the side, but brushed on the side, and then the polished center links. Very comfortable and nice flow to the bracelet. It is a split pin design for sizing the bracelet, just in case you know. Flat sapphire crystal with AR coating on both sides, so it's very nice and clear. In my research of this movement, back to the movement, I did finally find a PDF file explaining the thickness or specs on this movement. Now, I'm not going to go into the diameter and all that stuff. I was mostly interested in the thickness of the movement because I want to know if this movement is going to be available in thinner watches, which it kind of already is. So the thickness of this movement is 5.77 millimeter. What does that mean? Well, it means that it can be a thinner watch. It's just not in this case. So for example, a standard ETA 2824 movement is 4.6 millimeter. So roughly 1 millimeter thinner to get, standard 3-hand with date. Another reference, NH36, so a Seiko, 4R36, NH36 is about 5.32 millimeter. So about a 0.5 millimeter off from the thickness of this movement. So you can see nicely applied indices. You have a double stack at the 12 and the 6 or 24 and 12, depending on how you're looking at it. All right. So there's all that. Let's talk function. I'm not a GMT, guys. I'm not a GMT guy, people. I don't know how to say that other than that. I know I messed that up, but so excuse my ignorance on this one when I go through this. So you unscrew the crown, you can wind it, you can pull it all the way out, and you can hack it. Okay, that's going to stop the seconds hand, so you can do more accurate timekeeping on it. Okay, so first position, you can see the GMT hand moved a little bit. So this is where you can jump the hour hand forward or backward. So I set it, this is my current time where I'm at right now. Both of them are actually set. So that's how I set GMT. I set them both to my time, or this is how you would really want to do it, right? So that way, if you travel, whether you go east or west, depending if you need to, subtract time zones or add time zones. So say I want to go west and visit my parents, they're like 3 hours behind me. So all I have to do is 1, 2, 3. Now I'm on their time and I'm still tracking my time. So at home, it would be about 1:15 roughly, right? And then where my parents are, it would be 10:15. That's like the easiest way to travel with a GMT watch. It's very easy. And then when I go back home, all I gotta do is boop, 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 and I'm back on home time. So that's just a nice, clean, simple way of doing it. The way most affordable GMTs are done are with like this, the Solita movement version of it. So I have this one set up for my time and my 24-hour time. So if I unscrew the crown on this, all right, so if I'm gonna adjust the main timekeeping 2 hands to where I'm gonna be going, I have to back it up like this, and then I lose and then it moves that hand too. So you can see the issue here with that sort of setup. So yes, you can adjust the GMT hand, but I'm going west, so I need to adjust it backwards. Well, to move it backwards, all that does, you didn't see that, but that spins the date. I didn't change the time. So you go forward and it just moves the GMT hand forward. I can't move it backward. So to get to my travel time, and I'm going to keep it on the 24-hour clock, then I have to go like that. Is it a big deal? No, but I think this one's going to be better for if you're tracking a time and not traveling. You can still obviously do it. You could just, and this one I could have just spun the outer bezel, the lock bezel here. That would have been the easiest way to adjust this one. But you can see why a lot of us would like to see the jumping hour hand on this. If you're actually going to travel and you want to quickly adjust your time, then it's easier to do with this formula. So hopefully we see more watches with the jump hour hand in the automatic. We just need this, the newer ETA 661 movement, and it has the 80-hour power reserve and all that. So if any of you guys know more than I do on that, feel free to chime in. Like, I don't know a ton about the GMTs, and I don't travel a ton. So it's not really something that I require, but that's just my understanding of it. So here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. It is definitely on the larger side of things, and you guys know I like 42 by 50 watches. This one's a 44, so it's already a little bit bigger. It still wears really good. I would definitely, because of the balance of it, I would definitely wear this one a little bit tighter, but you can see, even if I needed to loosen up, I don't even have to undo the clasp. I can just loosen it up right there. No big deal. Super easy. All right, let's kill the lights, check the Loom. Before I do that, I do want to show it next to something a little more familiar. Here is a stock SKX. So you can see a size comparison there. It's definitely a larger watch. So don't ever say I never told you. It is. All right, let's check the Loom. I suspect it's good. Yeah, that's definitely a good Loom. No doubt about it. It was charged up with my studio lights, and that's pretty much all I ever do is show it once it's charged up with my studio lights, and this thing's plenty bright. So I'm guessing it's some good formula of C3. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.